once said, "It is surmounting difficulties that makes heroes." This is one of those times. COVID-19 and the endless infections and quarantines is one of those difficulties. When we were first quarantined, I was scared that we would not be able to beat the disease. But then I did some research, and I feel hopeful that we are not that far off. After 8 months stuck inside our house, it seems like we might all be experts on COVID-19. But do you know what it is? How it attacks our body? We are all excited about the vaccine news, but do we understand how a vaccine defeats a virus? One of the things I learned doing my research is that COVID-19 is just a variation of an earlier virus called SARS-CoV, but we called it SARS. It spread throughout Asia but was contained quickly. As a variant of that strain, COVID-19's real name is SARS-CoV-2. These viruses mutated and jumped from animals to humans. However, unlike the common cold or the flu, we didn't have time to adapt and build defenses against them, so it ended up hitting us harder than a flu might. I was relieved to learn that most COVID-19 cases are pretty benign. Having coronavirus can feel like a really bad cold or the flu. But if the infection is moderate or severe, people experience respiratory distress, heart failure, and other catastrophic events. Older people are more susceptible to this type of reaction because they often tend to have weaker lungs and more reactive immune systems. Now we know what the virus does. But what is a virus? A virus is an organism that needs a host cell to reproduce. In other words, this organism hijacks the cell's genetic material to create copies of itself. Then the copies hijack other cells, and so on, until the body is a host to the disease. By now, you've probably seen an image of COVID-19. Here's a quick breakdown of what you're looking at. The red mushrooms are spike proteins. These allow the virus to get into the cells. The gray part contains the genetic material, also known as the RNA, that will be inserted into the host cell. Neutralizing these spikes might be the key to a vaccine, because the body defends itself by neutralizing these spikes with the help of antibodies. If we can teach the body to make these antibodies, we will be able to stop COVID-19. This is what a vaccine does. There are multiple types of vaccines. Here are some of them. The most common one is an attenuated virus, like measles, mumps, rubella vaccine. The doctor gives you a shot of a weakened virus. However, this is the hardest kind to develop because if a virus is not weak enough, it can be dangerous. The newer kind of vaccines are the genetic vaccines. This is what scientists are working on for COVID. Genetic vaccines use RNA or DNA to trick the body into making the spikes by itself. It's very easy and quick to make RNA vaccines, but it's difficult to get into the cell. The RNA vaccine is the most efficient, but it's fragile and hard to distribute because the vaccines must be stored in a cryogenic container or the RNA will die. Whatever type of vaccine it is, it needs to be tested to make sure that it's safe. Usually, this is done in 3 phases. Phase 1, give to only healthy people in a small group. This is to verify the vaccine is non-toxic. Phase 2, test to a small, diverse group of people to know if a vaccine is effective. Phase 3, give to thousands of people and make sure it's safe and effective on everybody. This is the stage for the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Both appear to be more than 90% effective. If they get approved, they will be the first ever production RNA vaccines. And this will be a major breakthrough, which will allow vaccines to be developed very quickly in the future. One reason for this quick turnaround is that scientists didn't have to start from scratch. I remember I told you that COVID is a mutation of SARS. Well, a lot of the work that was done for SARS vaccine can be used for the COVID vaccines. Also, the virus is pretty stable. Some viruses, like the flu for example, keep mutating, and it's very hard to make a single vaccine that works for all the strains. COVID has taken a terrible toll on humanity, and right now, the only thing we have to beat it is us. This means controlling our behavior, so please stay safe. Wear a mask in public, stay 6 feet apart, and maintain social distancing. But I'm also very hopeful that we will soon get the best tool to get rid of it, a vaccine. So at the end, who are going to be the heroes that Pasteur was talking about? Not fighters, not leaders, but health workers, researchers, and many other people that just decided to step forward and help during this crisis. To all of these, I would simply like to say thank you.